Okay, right here. His new book is called Behind the Mask of Facebook. What? I can't wait for that one. And I keep thinking, like, I wonder if Mark ZuckerChooch sits there at home and he just watches all the whistleblower stuff. He's like, oh, I hope they don't catch me. Stupid man. Because when I have Ryan on tonight, I'm going after the ZuckerChooch. Yeah, you know what? Why don't you stop shadow banning people? You know, nobody likes your perspective anyway. You're a thief. Think about that for a second. You want to control the perspective of the nation, of the world, and you're a thief. Not really interested in that. So what I'm thinking is this. You kind of piss off with that stupid face of yours. Take your $70 billion and get the frig out of here. How about that? How about you allow people to speak? How about you allow others who have a differing opinion to be heard? You can't do that, right? Because you are the most boring person on the planet. I hope you one day see this. You, ZuckerChooch, are the most boring person in the world. When you speak, I fall asleep. You see the energy I have? I fall asleep when you speak. You start talking, I want a pillow. Somebody give me a Joe Biden pillow. Where's my pillow guy? Where's Mike Lindell when you need him, right? I got this guy coming out to talk about his new glasses. I fell asleep already. I'm sorry. What did Mark ZuckerChooch just show up on the air? And now I lost a year. I hibernated. You put me into a trance with that stupid voice of yours and that gull on your neck. Hey, why don't you see if you can get that gull removed? What's going on with that? Adam's apple like I've never seen in my life before. What are you doing there, Adam's apple neck? Ugh, right? Well, we designed a program. You design nothing. You're a thief. We stole a program, and I decided to call it Facebook. Yeah, that's what happened. Why don't we call it what it is, alien? You know, when you're a thief named Mark ZuckerChooch, and you're also extremely boring, like to the point where like these twins, they're sitting there coming up with this new idea for a new platform called, Class Book. Oh, it's going to be so much fun. There was a guy sitting in the room that was like freaking so bland. They had no idea he was there. They're like talking through him. Oh yeah, no, Winkleblocker or whatever the hell, Winkelslookers. Look, oh, I got this idea. And then you could talk to your friends. And then literally right there was a piece of garbage sitting there, but nobody knew because he's like the most boring person on the planet. They just were like, oh, wasn't that idiot moron who's like so boring he makes me want to fall asleep every time he opens his stupid mouth? Wasn't he there too? I don't know. I don't remember because he's so freaking boring. They had to look at a photo. Oh, Winklehaus, did you see it? Look, oh yeah, there are the two of you. You guys are planning, and right there in between you, the most boring man on the planet. ZuckerChooch, yeah. I think what happened was you say you dropped out of Harvard. I think you went to class and they gave you Fs because they were like, well, I guess he didn't show up today. No, I'm here. I guess he didn't show up today. Friggin' paper. You're like a piece of paper within like a 500 stack. You're like, which one is better? None. They're all crap. Oh, we had this guy, Mark Zuckerberg. He was supposed to be in class this year, but he's a no-show. No, sir, I'm right here. I don't know. I guess we're just going to move on then. I got everybody else, but Zuckerberg seems to be a no-show. No, sir, I'm right here. Yep, I guess we're just... Guys, everybody else, your homework for the day is this. ZuckerChooch comes in the next day. Sir, I did the homework. Who the frig are you? I've never seen you in the history of time. It was only when he stood right in front of somebody and he like had the full view of them that they were able to see him. He's transparent. Besides that, nobody knows he exists. They're like, oh, where do you think he got the idea from? You think they were like, hey, ZuckerChooch, I got an idea. Come on over. I want to tell you about it. He was in the room, planted in there. They didn't even know he was there. I want to do a DosEquis commercial with Mark ZuckerChooch, the most boring man in the world. Right? And you see him. He goes like this. I am ZuckerChooch. That's what needs to happen, right? Because the world is like better off when he's not on camera. The world is better off when he keeps to himself on an island somewhere with his Adreno. I'm just saying, go grab your Adreno, dude, and you can do your thing. Just don't come near us with your creepy ways, right? And that friggin' Adam's apple. I'm just saying, when you got an Adam's apple like that, I just kind of want to go like ding, ding, ding on that Adam's apple. You know, like I'd be the one guy who goes up to a billionaire and I'm like, can I just do something to you, ZuckerChooch? I got to check something out. What is with this thing? Did you put like a tennis ball in your throat today before you came out here? Ah, nom, 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 nom. Jeez, you are as bland as they come, right? Nobody wants to interview you. When you go on, talk shows, they lose ratings. People literally fall asleep on like right in the middle of it. And then the advertisers start calling in. They're like, I don't want to advertise you anymore. I advertised you during the ZuckerChooch interview and everybody fell asleep. I didn't sell any biscuits. That's what happens when you put the most boring man in the world on camera with you and he literally just eats up your life. Like you got no light, like the day is over. You lost a full day in 15 minutes. When he speaks to you for 15 minutes, that day's dead. You lost it all. He just sucked ZuckerChooch vampire sucked away all of your positivity. He sucked away all of your humanness as well and into his alienness. When you're dealing with, the most boring man in the world who's an alien, who's got a freaking lump on his throat that we think he's got a thyroid issue. I'm thinking he eats too much salt. Like, what is with that thing? I got a new glass situation. You got a glasses situation? No, you got a freaking neck situation going on right now. And you know what? You got $70 billion. You think you'd go to the doctor, say, Doc, I need you to help me with my neck situation. I got a freaking gull. ZuckerChooched. You got freaking ZuckerChooched by yourself. Yeah. Born, and then the aliens decide to give you like this is the biggest Adam's apple I've ever seen in my life. I think if you were to measure it, someone could scale it. They could grab their ropes and scale your friggin' Adam's apple, Mark ZuckerChooch. And they have to have a safety harness. They can't do it without a safety harness. You fall off the ZuckerChooch Adam's apple? Oh my God, you're breaking legs. You are breaking legs, and maybe even more. You may break, something even worse than a leg. Falling off a ZuckerChooch Adam's apple. It happened in '84, and people, he was a baby. He's walking around, crawling around. I gotta find a baby picture of this friggin' kid, the most bland baby on the planet. The most bland baby on the planet. This baby didn't cry, didn't smile. He never went. He just looked at the wall with an Adam's apple the size of a friggin' Buick. He grew into the Buick Adam's apple situation. But, you just have to remember that when you've got a ZuckerChooch situation and you're as bland as they come, and like when people like, oh, you're the life of the party, but they're not talking about you, that is something. I got $70 billion. Yeah, but you're also as boring as like sand. Like if you were like, hey, you have to sit in sand for the rest of your life, that's as boring. There's no sun. You're just sitting in sand. That's as boring as you. Like, I don't want to have dinner with you ever. I don't want to speak to you ever. One day, when they're like, oh, Renaissance Man, you're interviewing Mark ZuckerChooch today because we have billions of people that tune into the show every day. And then it's like ZuckerChooch is like, he needs to get his new initiative out for some stupid thing that nobody cares about because he's so freaking boring. And his people are like, oh, we're going to get in touch with the Renaissance Man show. We got to get you on. I'm like, sure, I'll have ZuckerChooch on. Oh, you mean Zuckerdick? Yeah, I'll have him on as well. So they bring Zuckerdick in, and I'm like, listen, when you are a ZuckerChooch and also at the same time, hybrid, Zuckerdick, double situation going on right there. We have a problem, okay? About, let's call it 23 years ago, I had, a small show on the Renaissance Man show on YouTube and on Face Book, we call it. I actually call it ZuckerChooch Book because you're a piece of garbage. And the bottom line was, you shut me down. You put me in a hole. There was a time I had 3,000 friends. I say that in quotes because nobody's known I've been here for 991 days in a row. And if you have 3,000 friends, you would think that maybe 50 people, 100 people would see a show on a daily basis when you've been live for 991 days in a row. I mean, you'd hope 3,000 people would watch you. And actually that your friends list would grow while you've been live for 991 days in a row. But no, everything stayed the same the last 991 days in a row. If you go on Facebook and you look at my feeds and you look at the last 5 or 6 shows, you will see 3 views, 4 views, 7 views. Pray, I ask you, how could 3,000 friends only see my show, only 4 of them see my show, 7 of them see my show on a daily basis for 991 days in a row? Unless the most obnoxiously bland person on the planet decided to put me in a hole because I speak truth, because he's a piece of garbage and he wants the world to think he's not, because he wants them to think that his Adam's apple is okay. They shoot it from an angle where it doesn't look as big as the pyramid. But if you are standing there in front of him, that's Pyramid of Giza style. I'm telling you, you're climbing that freaking thing. So I can't change that. But one day I will have a chance to see the most boring man alive, DosEquis, the most boring man alive, with the biggest friggin' Adam's apple on the planet. 2 world records. 2. Uber thief. I don't think he stole Uber, but he stole Facebook.